morning again, my friend. Great to have you here as part of the fourth hour. Let's jump right into it. Let's get at what's going on this morning. Very interesting interviews on Fox News Channel this morning, and I wanted to share portions of this. Okay, I got so many windows open here. What's the correct one? Here we go. I want to play a few portions of this. Again, this is from Fox and Friends this morning. You have New York City Mayor Eric Adams. He's saying that he wants to loosen New York's sanctuary laws, and he talked to the crew at Fox and Friends about it this morning.
Who is at Rikers Island that will be deported? What have they done?
And you bring in 2 points where the far left has hijacked this narrative. ICE is running in our schools, ICE is running in our churches, and they are creating this frenzy. They're not in the business of just grabbing children, and we need to, just stop all this noise. Rikers Island, particularly after all the reforms, Rikers Island is now having some of the most dangerous people in our city. And by having ICE on Rikers Island, part of our gang intelligence, using our intel with NYPD, correction officers, we can identify those gangs inside and outside on the street. There was no reason they were removed from Rikers Island. And as I sat down with Tom earlier, I said that we're going to look at all the legalese. I'm able to do an executive order to put them back on Rikers Island, what they should be with part of our criminal justice apparatus.
You have a
and this pretty cool. I mean, they get into this in a little bit of detail. So he says he's pushing the city council to tweak the law, and you heard him say that, so that the feds also can crack down on illegal migrants. And he's moving forward. I think it's pretty incredible. During that interview, you also had the nation's border czar, Tom Homan. He made some comments that are worth sharing with you as well, as he goes after New York Governor Kathy Hochul. And let's pick this up again, this Tom Homan at this point.
Governor Hochul is an embarrassment to the position she holds. She stands on media after someone's burned alive on a subway. She stands in front of TV camera and says, I think criminal aliens should be removed too. But she's got the green light law. The men and women of ICE and Border Patrol, when they pull a vehicle,
listen to this.
Law enforcement, you're in law enforcement your whole career. What's the first thing you would do? You run the license plate number. Are these wanted? Is there warrant for these people? Who are they? Are they dangerous? Is that car stolen? All these things, right? Do you know ICE and CBP can't run DMV data on New York State license plate? So they're pulling over people not even know who the hell they are.
Is that the green light law?
The green light law. So she, on one point, she's saying, well, I think criminals should be removed too, but then she locks us out of DMV data. Right. That'd be like us locking officers out of the NCIC, the Fed zone. Would we do that? No, because officer safety is paramount. She's putting the men and women at ICE at risk every day. The job's already dangerous. So Governor Hochul, she needs to be removed. Everybody needs
She needs to be removed.
She supports sanctuary policy.
This is just absolutely incredible, I think, as you watch that, what the left is doing to try to thwart some of these efforts. It's just mind-blowing stuff. Okay, there are a few other stories I want to share with you this morning as we end another week together. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, this is over at foxnews.com. An expert, this is the president of Just Facts, saying that there's massive levels of waste that could be slashed from entitlement projects, the IRS. This is James Agresti, president of Just Facts, said it's hard to wrap your head around, he's talking about the payments here, $2 billion worth of improper payments at the Social Security Administration. And that number is so large, he says, it's hard to wrap your head around a figure like that. There's a lot of fat in Social Security, as there are in almost all entitlement programs and waste. And again, when we talk about fat, we're not talking about those who are actually receiving Social Security benefits. We are talking about whether it's administrative costs, whether it's people that are ripping off Social Security, whether it's people that are not entitled to benefits. who are getting in the way of the money going to the people who deserve it. And those hardworking Americans who have paid into the Social Security system all of their lives and then expecting to receive that money back. And it's just incredible. So he goes on with a lot of details. Again, you'll find this story at Fox News. What did he say? The chief of the actuary of the Social Security Administration did a study on this problem. Illegal immigrants, now we're talking, found that there were 800,000 non-citizens who had Social Security numbers and were working under them, which means they can receive benefits on them. And they obtain these Social Security numbers by submitting false birth certificates to the Social Security Administration. And so we've got people in Pennsylvania working in an old cave, trying to without computers, all paper. This is just nonsensical, man. Seriously, I have fallen as more and more of this information comes out. It is like you fell asleep and you woke up in bizarro world. Everything just gets more and more hard to believe. And then you find out, no, it's true. I mean, it's outrageous and ridiculous as some of this stuff actually sounds. It's actually true. All right. I don't have my stories in order here because generally I tried to line them up. So, but I want to go here. The New York Times. This is from justthenews.com. Justthenews.com. In what can only be described as a hit piece, the New York Times this week cast doubt on Doge and Elon Musk's statements that the government was losing exorbitant sums of money due to fraud. They derided him for not providing receipts. He's not providing the receipts. So they did an entire article, and Just the News says it hinged on a relatively brief exchange between reporters and Trump. And it's just now the Doge website, which was published this week. In fact, it took a little bit longer, I think, than they started. Doge now has a website. And I'm going to pull that up for you here in just a moment. I'm going to show you where you can actually go to doge.gov. Doge, DOGE.gov, Department of Government Efficiency. They have their own website. The New York Times, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. You watch Democrats flailing around. You watch the New York Times, the legacy media just literally flailing around. Oh, I had an email from someone earlier this morning who had made a point. Forgive me, I had this all set up. Michael had sent me an email. And he said, I'm wondering if I'm the only one that's noticed that Democrats cannot have a conversation about Trump. Well, this is on a bit of a different subject. I wonder if I'm the only one that's noticed that Democrats cannot have a conversation about Trump without screaming or swearing. And that's just Congress and the Senate, not classy people. He says, and there was a story. Forgive me, because I thought I had pulled it up. Taking a look at the New York Post here. I think perhaps is where I've seen it. That, no, it was at foxnews.com. See, then I wind up closing. Hey, here we go. Independent voters who are, okay, I'm going to share this with you. This, the way that independent voters are reacting to some of this stuff, they are showing significant disapproval.
Things were, just fine. We were getting along, happy.
Fox News always starts the audio. Independent voters aren't happy with this. So let's get down into this. Focus group of voters showed independents disapproving of the Democrat Party's antics to oppose Donald Trump. Viewers in the focus group responded negatively to a protest earlier this month led by Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer against Elon Musk. The group consisted of 75 Democrats, 49 independents, and 32 Republicans. And you've seen the videos, Schumer leading chants, "We will win, we will win," and then "We won't rest, we won't." And the pollster who was looking at this said of the Schumer video, "Cringe. Nothing says we want to help like a gaggle of 70-year-olds waving canes and shouting in inanities. You'd think public figures would have more self-awareness and a desire to behave in a professional manner." You would think so, right? Yeah, you would think so. But they don't think. They don't think. And this just shows it. I mean, this is all emotion. And we're trying to whip up everybody else's emotions. We're going to get everybody into and it's no wonder this is not resonating with people on Main Street. Whether independents, Republicans, I just, again, you try to step out of that a little bit. I'm very much a Republican, very conservative. At least I hope, in my outlook, but you're trying to step outside of that and say, okay, just as a main person on Main Street, just a Main Street American, how do I look at this and how do you see that? And I think independents are showing that stuff is just not resonating with them. So let's see. One independent voter who viewed the footage said it hovered back and forth between a tiny bit funny and very, very cringe. I think you see that with, unfortunately, with a lot of this. Excuse the cough there. So, pretty incredible. Okay, what one was I on? Sorry, I wanted to mute that mic. There it is. Trying to see if there's any other reactions there. A third video showed Representative Maxine Dexter of Oregon at the American Federation of Government Employees protest saying, "I don't swear in public very well, but we have to F Trump," dropping the F-bomb. And then she said, "Please don't tell my children that I just did that." And you can see, look at this line. It drops with the Republicans. You would expect that. Independents, boom, boom. Democrats, they love it. See, Democrats love this kind of nonsense. They got a focus group, Democrats, Republicans, independents, and independents, boom. So again, the Democrat Party, who are they talking to? They're talking to their base who love this stuff. The rest of America absolutely hate it. And this is yet another example. And I mean, honestly, I don't think they're going to start living in the 21st century anytime soon. You just don't see that from the Democrat Party. It's absolutely amazing to me. There's a story also at Newsmax this morning about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Some of the reporting at Newsmax recently has had me kind of scratching my head. Newsmax that purports that they're the new, the new Fox News channel. And based on some of the things I read on Newsmax, not so much sometimes. So they're saying Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has promised to address an epidemic of chronic illness, which he has. So Trump yesterday ordered the creation of a Make America Healthy Again commission. And Republicans then are saying, so what did they go? Newsmax goes to the managing director at a consulting firm, former FDA chief counsel under George W. Bush. Really? You're going to go to the administration of George W. Bush? And see, I love George W. Bush, but man, really? That's where you're going to go to get a reaction to this? And saying if you walk in and you fire the people who are best able to help you get regulations done, then not a lot's going to get done. They're going to have to decide, do they want to actually attack the issue of food additives, or do they want to get rid of the people in the food additive division? You can't really do both. You can't? Why can't you? I mean, this is part of the problem that I have. We have a lot of people tell, well, you can't do that. Can you articulate why that is? Why is it that we can't do that? I think Americans are constantly being told, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Donald Trump's being told that. Lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit. You can't do that. Judges, federal judges, you can't do that. Really? Who says? You? I mean, this, that just is a little bit jaw-dropping to me. Okay, I promised to share a little bit of information here about the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, I follow them on X, and I suggest that you do too. If you have an account on X, you can follow them there. And I'm going to flip from their social media now. They actually have set up a website. This is their actual government website. It's doge.gov. So this is where you go. The Department of Government Efficiency, doge.gov. So they now have a federal website, and today's contract update, 167 cancellations with a savings of $115 million. Excuse me, including a $2 million contract for Health and Human Services for equity assessments of existing program policies. The nonsense goes on. The Department of Education now has terminated grants to the 4 equity assistance centers, totaling $33 million. One provided professional learning around critical race theory and racial literacy. This stuff is, again, crazy. Doge it's a tip of the hat here to Lee Zeldin in the EPA. I talked about this on the air. Lee Zeldin saying, I just canceled the $50 million Biden-era environmental justice grant to the Climate Justice Alliance, which believes climate justice travels through a free Palestine. What? I mean, this is why I leave work every day. I mean, we got some kind of bandage to put around my head so my brain doesn't explode as I find all of these things. And this just goes on. U.S. Department of Education. Let's read a little bit more because they have more details here. And you take a look at this. Instead of improving outcomes for students, here's where taxpayer dollars were going, says the U.S. Department of Education. $4.6 million to coordinate Zoom and in-person meetings. $4.6 million. $3 million contract to write a report that showed that prior reports were not being used by schools. What? How do you not laugh at this? I mean, and I've said this before, I mean this very sincerely, I have to laugh or I'll lose my marbles. $1.4 million contract to physically observe mailing and clerical operations. Yeah, we've got to observe the mailing operations. What nonsense is this? So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they are uncovering, rather, at the Department of Government Efficiency, and it's just absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, there was one other story I wanted to share this morning, and then we'll wrap it up for another week. Charlie Kirk has got a piece at Breitbart this morning. Charlie Kirk, what is democracy? And he writes, I'm not going to share all of this, which is why I'm pointing it out if you want to go read it. It's very interesting. He says, for your edification, here's a selection of recent headlines published in our major news outlets. Elon Musk's political power grab threatens democracy and the economy. How Trump's war on federal workers threatens democracy. Trump's showdown with courts put U.S. on the brink of abandoning democracy. Seriously. I mean, that's almost like a piece that would be written on one of the satire news sites, you know. You'd find it there. No. This is the legacy. This is the state media. This is the legacy media at work. Trump's blitz to expand his power is direct threat to democracy, experts say. And he says, I could find a few dozen more if I wanted, but I think you get the point. The Washington swamp and its media allies have settled on their line of attack against the new Trump administration, and it's a tired one. Our democracy is in peril. And yet, and this goes on, and I'll conclude it here in a moment. But, you know, for those who are actually watching and aware of events and paying attention, they know that it's anything but that. This, and as they double down on all of these things, I just think it pushes more and more and more people away from the legacy media, the state media. Just the more that they engage in that, no matter how ridiculous, no matter, you know, it's absolutely in defiance of what we know to be true, they continue that. And I have said this for a long time. I mean, they do so at their own peril. So they can continue to do that. I think people are really tuned into this kind of thing. It's one of the reasons why I am on X now. It's why I love following Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency on X, because I learn a lot more than you will ever learn from the legacy media or the state media. So Charlie Kirk goes on to say, he's saying, yet this week, District Judge John D. Bates ordered a reversal, saying that actually it's illegal for the administration to not provide advice on transgender surgeries on taxpayer-funded websites. So go ahead and ask, who is undermining democracy, President Trump or Judge John Bates? And then follow up by asking this. If the left are such fans of democracy, why did they try to throw Trump in prison as soon as he began running for president again? Why did they impose suffocating censorship on every social media site they controlled? What was democratic about that? And finally, ask them this. If you don't like the people expressing their honest views, voting for the candidate of their choice, or getting the policies that they vote for, what exactly do you like about democracy? Writes Charlie Kirk. So again, you can find that piece at Breitbart if you want to read it in more detail. If you've made it to this point, thank you. You are part of my gallery of champions. Please hit the like button before you sign out here today. I'd appreciate that as well. And I hope to see you again Monday. I want to wish you, first of all, great Valentine's Day. Hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and a great evening with your special person tonight, and a great weekend as well. So you take care until Monday, my friend, and may God bless. See you soon.